And now to our top story. Investigators are looking into how a Maine warden service plane crashed in Franklin County yesterday. The crash killed one Maine game warden, Joshua Tibbetts. It happened in the town of Avon near Schoolhouse Pond. A spokesperson for the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife says the Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board are at the crash scene. An NTSB spokesperson says they're documenting the site and examining the airplane. He says the plane will eventually be taken to a secure facility for further evaluation. The NTSB spokesperson also says the investigation involves three primary areas: the pilot, the aircraft, and the operating environment. A final report with details on the cause of the crash could take 1 to 2 years. And community members in Massachusetts are mourning a state trooper who was killed in a wrong-way crash last week. Many people attended the funeral where they paid their last respects to 30-year-old Kevin Traynor. It was held in Salem. Traynor began his career as a corrections officer, and he graduated from the State Police Academy in 2023. He's survived by his mother and fiance. The other driver involved in the crash also died. The former deputy superintendent of 2 correctional facilities, Gerard Merill, will spend 5 years behind bars for theft and bribery charges. According to the Director of Public Affairs Office, Merill received a 10-year sentence on the theft charge, with all but 5 years suspended, followed by 3 years of probation. He also received a concurrent 5-year maximum sentence on the bribery charge, and he'll begin serving the sentence immediately. He was ordered to pay more than $500,000 in restitution to the Maine Department of Corrections. In March, Merill pleaded guilty to using state-issued credit cards to pay 5 companies in exchange for illegal kickback payments between 2014 and 2023. And we are learning who will lead the town of Lincoln. Town leaders say Wade Schaefer will serve as interim town manager. Council members voted to appoint him during a council meeting Monday. We're told Schaefer is the senior pastor of Swans Island Church of God. Town officials say he will continue that role while as interim town manager. It comes about a week after the former town manager, Dennis Bullen, was fired. And President Trump is in China now ahead of a 2-day summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The world's 2 biggest economies are seeking to extend a fragile trade truce against the backdrop of the U.S. war with Iran. NBC's Julie Sirkin reports from Washington.
President Trump arriving in Beijing to great fanfare. It's the president's first visit to China in his 2nd term, and before departing the White House, he expressed his respect for Chinese President Xi Jinping.
I have a great relationship with President Xi, and I think it's going to remain that way. We have a lot of things to discuss.
These talks could lead to a thawing of relations. Tech, Taiwan, and trade all expected to come up, as the 2 countries are in the middle of a tariff truce. Another goal for this White House, opening Chinese markets to American companies. More than a dozen CEOs are traveling to China alongside the president, including NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, a late addition, Apple's Tim Allen, and Tesla's Elon Musk.
I'm hoping that they're able to work through some of the trade issues.
Taiwan will be a delicate topic. China claims the island nation, but the U.S. backs its independence. Today, a bipartisan group of senators emphasizing support for Taiwan in a letter to Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
We need to support Taiwan. There should be no daylight between us and Taiwan.
I think it's absolutely critical that we make it clear that the United States policy with respect to Taiwan has not changed.
But looming large over the talks, Iran, which sells a lot of oil to China. Xi Jinping holding sway over Iran's leaders. President Trump, though, evasive as to whether he would ask Xi to step in to stop the war.
No, I don't think we need any help with Iran.
This trip abroad comes as the president faces economic headwinds here at home. With inflation at its highest in 3 years, the price of groceries and gas soaring. But Trump says that's not a factor on his path to peace.
The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation.
Many Republicans on Capitol Hill are pushing back on that criticism. For example, earlier today, House Speaker Mike Johnson said the president is focused on ending the war, on reopening that critical Strait of Hormuz, and those actions will help bring prices down for Americans. In Washington, Julie Sirkin, NBC News.
In the meantime, members of Congress are reacting to the news that President Trump is considering suspending the federal gasoline tax. It comes amid soaring fuel prices, with a national average reaching $4.50. This according to AAA. Trump said it would help Americans suffering from the high costs. However, he would need congressional approval first. Lawmakers from both parties voiced mixed opinions, but agreed something needs to be done.
See how long the suspension is. We'll need to debate the impact that'll have on our highway trust fund. But look, it'll be a help.
A temporary gimmick like waiving the gas tax for a couple of months might provide some relief. It's something I'd consider.
Was suspended, it would reduce prices by about 18 cents for regular and about 24 cents for diesel. Several states have already suspended or reduced their taxes to alleviate costs for their residents. And the White House is refining its request to lawmakers for $1 billion in security funding. Many Republicans say they need a need for new safety measures since President Donald Trump has faced assassination attempts. But his ballroom project is unpopular with many voters. In a new memo, the Trump administration says just over a fifth of the money it wants is for that effort specifically. It says the rest is for visitor screening, Secret Service training, and other initiatives.